Okay, I'm going away from the direct step-by-step tutorials. You should be pretty much comfortable with making a web page at this point. And you need to bear in mind that my examples are almost never the complete assignment because a lot of people aren't doing all the things in the requirements. So you need to make sure that you're doing the requirements, not just following the video and then not completing the work. So for this assignment, you need to demonstrate the use of 5 different types of block level elements. Block level elements are these: address, fig caption, DD, header, table, table footer, figure, article, aside, block quote, canvas, field set. So you can pick any 5 of those. And a block level element starts on a line, takes up the full width of the available space. Inline elements does not start a new line, it only takes up the immediate space. So that's like span is the most common one, italics, map, script, text areas, input. So you can look at these and you need to demonstrate the use of 5 of those as well, and they need to be different ones. The span is the one that's most commonly used. So I do have a sample page that I'll get to in a moment. So you have to do inline elements, and then you have to do classes and IDs. And we've been using both of these already. Classes, so you also need to work with classes and IDs. So classes allow you to define styles for elements with the same class name. And you're allowed to use the class name as many times as you want on a page. So you might have a class name of buttons, cities, etc. here. So you can see that styles them all the same. That's different than, so we can add classes to anything, but that's different than an ID. An ID we've used, but we've used it as a bookmark. And it's used by CSS and JavaScript to perform certain tasks for an element with a specific ID value. So we can style it, but this would be something where you're just doing one of them on a page. and the big difference is that an ID is unique. It belongs to that single element. Class name can be used multiple times on a page. An ID must be unique. That allows us to make it a bookmark and to use JavaScript to program it. And then you need to use 5 of the new semantic elements. And so these, semantic means that it's a description of how they're being used. So an article is defined in an article. Defines content aside from the page content, usually tangentially related. So these are all different pieces of code that can be used when you're designing your web page to break it up into logical sections. And this is helpful for people who are browsing with a browser for the blind that reads things to them, as well as helping things like Google. So I did do a sample page. And again, this does not match your assignment. It's just showing you how the different things are used. So while you can look at this as a reference, if you just copy it, you will fail the assignment. Oh, sorry, I was in Internet Explorer, and that does not let me look at the background. So I'm going to go ahead and use the inspect option here, which really lets us see how things are working. And as you know, this is a great way to test things, and you can see what's the container. We can turn stuff off and on. So it lets you know which part of this is the container. And there's more than one container. Container is it's a dot container that makes it a class. You can see the various things that have been applied and how they change when you take them in and out. So the body has a background color. You can see that that's purple. Let's take a look at the HTML.